Hey everyone, my name is Deanna and I am completely obsessed with startups and the amazing things that go on behind the scenes that make them successful. In the last episode of Studio Upstart, we talked about some of the major players in the startup studio industry and how they differ from one another. I walked you guys through my sliding scale model that kind of shows the various elements of the startup studio business model and how studios can use those elements to play around with them to differentiate themselves from each other. One of those elements is called focus, and that is what we're going to be talking about today.
Focus refers to the level of specialization a studio adheres to. Some studios have a high degree of specialization, like the studio called AI Fund, who, as you can imagine, only builds AI ventures. On the other end of the spectrum, we see extremely general studios, and these tend to be studios that have certain ethos but not necessarily a focus. For example, the studio called 500 Labs is a pretty general studio in the sense that they don't stick to building startups in just one industry, but they do tend to focus on building digital ventures.
So, in the opinion of many startup studio founders, it is better to be specialized than a generalist because the point of startup studios are to reuse resources like people, machine, databases, and customers to continuously launch ventures. And as you might imagine, it's easier to do this when the startups you're building are all within the same industry. But I don't think one option is inherently better than the other. Personally, I think they both have strengths and weaknesses, but I will say that the generalist approach appeals to me more because it allows for more creativity and nothing is an automatic no. So regardless of the studio's level of specialization, studios have to be aware of the changing tides and embrace new trends that consumers are looking for. It doesn't matter if you're a social impact startup studio or if you're dealing with mostly connected devices. You would be a fool to not consider a new technology just because it's not part of what you already put in your portfolio. So today I want to break down the 5 biggest trends to hit the startup studio scene in 2020.
According to Forbes, Entrepreneur, and other various startup sources, the biggest trend in startup creation right now is social impact. Finding a way to use technology to help create inclusive startups from the beginning will help us find peace later down the road. And having a mission that does more than make a profit is helping companies gain a competitive advantage. And while sustainability and human rights should never be used to sell a product or a service, adding these efforts to your operational model or giving preference to startups with a social impact focus is a good idea.
So for trend number 2, I synthesized a lot of the reports that were aggregating kind of the results and came up with the future of work as the second trend. So whether it's co-working as a service or back office innovation, in the coming years, we are going to experience a huge shift in the way we work. And personally, I'm very excited for not only the technological breakthroughs, but for a model redesign. I have long been an advocate for shorter work days and better perks for employees, and in 2020, we're going to see that happen.
No list of startup trends for 2020 would be complete without AI, but I think it's more interesting to look at where AI is being applied. These algorithm-backed robots are doing more than driving cars and sorting clothes. They're helping shape the future of education, healthcare, and consumer behavior. Because of AI, we have crazy capabilities when it comes to data, and knowing this can be a blessing and a curse. Those with the information and the skills to act on it can find extremely valuable ways to give back to society, but there are those who would like to use this technology for less than pure motives. An entire concept dubbed surveillance capitalism is proof of the negative side effects of AI.
So trend number 4 has to do with e-commerce, and it's no surprise that this is changing. We're noticing a shift from brands that were using a purely digital online strategy like Amazon to an offline, kind of exposure strategy in the actual retail environment. So they're turning to technology to make their presence known, and that can cause some issues like suspicious flash deals that come as a result of location tracking or really highly targeted marketing. But honestly, they're just plotting on how to steal your attention.
The final trend making the top 5 this year is projected to be security in every way possible. We know that data is the new gold and hackers are the new pirates, but we don't yet know how to police the waters. From GDPR in the UK to versions of the protocols being implemented here in the US, it isn't clear exactly what the answer is, but it's clear that the person who figures it out will be the winner in this market. Along with data security, people are worried about their physical safety. With more and more connected devices coming on the market and the ever-looming self-driving car launch, people are worried that these devices might get hacked and be misused.
The future of innovation is rapidly approaching, and the 5 trends I just outlined are only the tip of the iceberg. Startup studios that specialize in a specific technology, like AI, will do well, I think. And, other studios that focus on pivotal causes, like social impact, will also do well. And it's because they can share their resources across the platform, use the same tech, the same people, they're working on the same problems. That's why they'll be successful. And it might sound like I'm advocating for continuity among the operations of startup studios, but I am not. In my opinion, openness and collaboration matter much more than the tech similarities of your ventures. I think too many studios are blocking themselves off from great invention and becoming too segmented and honestly a little elitist. And that's not how the startup studio model works. That's not why it exists. It was an audacious idea that combines, structured entrepreneurship with venture funding, and it can be defined as a startup or a VC firm or any other business that I know. It's all of the above. And when they start excluding founders and shutting down ideas simply because they don't follow protocol, no amount of funding or business model perfection can save them. So that is my prediction for 2020. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new, be sure to hit the subscribe button and be notified when I release new videos on this channel. This is Studio Upstart. I am Deanna. Thank you and have a great day.